Yeah, I thought we played really hard. Really tough loss for our guys. We've had a couple losses where, I've used effort and I've used like intensity and lulls, and I've had that type of language just openly with you guys. Specifically, our last game in the second half, just defensively was just horrendous. I thought we fought today, really fought, proud of the effort. Had some plays there late regulation. We had a 2-on-1. We had some free throw opportunities. They had some shots that they made. Amen's a handful, is getting better and better. 24 to 4 point paints. Paint points is tough to overcome. 26 offensive rebounds. When you give that up, it's just tough to overcome. The fact that we still had a chance in overtime, despite those numbers, show you that we were flying around and doing some good things. Shot over 50% against one of the best defensive programs in the country, top 10 defense right now, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 14th or somewhere near. Had a few open looks from three that if they converted, maybe it's different. 11 assists, 6 turnovers. I mean, we did a lot of good things. If they get 18 offensive rebounds instead of 26, still be too many, but we would have walked out of here with a big win. So it's been a big point of emphasis really since the season tipped for us. We've talked about it a lot. We'll continue to stress it, to work on it. At the end of the day, we're not a great defensive rebounding team. That's obvious. But certainly we can all give a little bit more and figure out a way to finish some stops, because our first shot defense was pretty good with a lot of those possessions.
What was Smurf's explanation there for going for the layup?
I didn't even talk to him about it. I know Smurf was as down as anybody in the locker room after the game, and I told him, I told all these guys, I thought Smurf was played as well as anybody on our team today. So everyone in our locker room made mistakes during that game, including myself. We preach growth every day. If we had a quick 2 with Blue Cane getting downhill, we would have taken it. And sometimes, it's big moments. It's young people, right? I know late in games with the clock running down, he's made probably a dozen huge positive plays for our program. So I thought he was really good tonight. We got to execute down the stretch a little bit better, of course. But I believe in Smurf.
To follow up on that, was there a conversation at all before that possession about what you guys needed?
Yeah, absolutely. I just said it. We ran some action to get Blue potentially downhill to his right hand, and then we were running some misdirection pin down toward the top of the key action with Smurf, which we've had a lot of success with, him getting open ones, and they switched it. They did more switching tonight. I'd hate to speak for Rick, but I think more so than they have in any game this year, which tells you we were doing some good things, get them playing a little bit differently. But they switched that, and then it came down to obviously trying to make a play off the bounce and getting someone a shot. Anxious to watch it. I think Cannon was potentially had a decent look there, but when you're late game, obviously, and it's a big moment, sometimes stuff happens. I could have seen him in his mind. If I asked him tomorrow, he laid it up, looked up. I see him potentially saying, "Oh, I thought we still had another 6 or 7 seconds. I'm pretty fast," but just not the way it was. Their early defensive or action against that, or defense against that action was good to where we didn't get a clean look with their switch, and then that's what caused a little bit of chaos.
Mike, not to single out anybody, but when you've got a scorer like Jeremiah that so much of the offense runs through,
yeah,
and he's not in there as much, and I know Cannon kind of picked up the scoring, but is he a guy that's kind of got to stay in the flow for you guys, do you think?
We'd like for him to, for sure. I mean, we would have scored it better, Mike, but we've got to take better shots. We're coming off a game we had very tough shot selection and I say we, I'm not singling anyone out. There are shots, and we can't take premeditated shots. And I thought we had a group out there, not singling out anyone again, and you said it in your question. I thought we had a group out there that probably the last, 12 minutes of the game was pretty connected defensively and offensively, outside of a couple subs here and there. Quick subs, where we got that particular five back out there together. But they were doing some good things defensively. We were running and jumping into half court. We were playing zone. We were obviously pressing a lot. We were zone pressing. We were just trying to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see if we could. At that point in the game, with about 10 minutes left, hell, we just started switching everything, and they've got 2 7-footers out there. But the fact that we couldn't come up with a defensive rebound, we figured, hey, let's just try to muck it up and not allow them to run the actions that they wanted to run. And honestly, hope it bounces to us a little bit on the defensive glass, but it didn't enough.
Coach, you mentioned a little while ago, just if you have 18 rebounds, you possibly walk out here with a win.
Yeah.
Obviously, looking throughout the game, there's no moral victories, but just kind of seeing where this game went as far as the result. How do you coach that? How do you coach, hey, that rebound in the first 15 minutes, could mean big deal later in the game. How do you coach that, over? Yeah,
we'll watch a lot of them, but some of it is, at the end of the day, if it's one of our guards, they play 2 bigs, right? And so if you can't turn them over enough and expose one of their bigs defensively on the perimeter, I mean, that was the matchup for us with both staffs. Then they're going to get away with playing 2 bigs, and they're going to pound you on the glass. I mean, in my guy's defense, I got Jordan Ross trying to block out Felix Akpara at times because we're pressing and we're switching, and our 4 is a guard. Cannon Catchings is a guard, and then we played Dylan James. We played a little bit bigger. I want to say we had a 2 or 3 minute stretch that maybe we continue to evaluate moving forward with Cannon at the 3. But then, how do you manage that with Blue and Jeremiah? And I thought Jordan Ross was really good. I'd like to give him credit to him. Had a swollen ankle and was only probable to play. Played hard as heck and did some really good things. But and I thought we did a good job exposing the fact that they had 2 bigs on the perimeter. I thought Australia and Akpar both did a really good job, though, for their size, the way that they can move. But that was part of why Cannon was so successful offensively, is we tried to get him in some closeouts. We tried to get him into some ball screens. He knew we were going to call his number a lot, so he got off to a really good start, played with great confidence. But then the drawback is you just get pounded on the glass. And again, if it bounces to us a few more times, or if you can offset it a little bit, you make a couple more threes. We had 7 offensive rebounds. If we get 10, we're in business. We make a couple more free throws, we're in business. So we were right there. It's just, it's unfortunate, but we got to get right back to work because we got a really good team coming in here Saturday.
Like, I guess there's a timeout with 15 seconds left in overtime. Do you tell your guys we only want 3s or not necessarily?
No, absolutely. The big decision as a staff, if you could take a really quick 2, do you take it? And we decided to take a really quick 2, but it was only with Blue as he was curling off that stagger, and not knowing if they were going to switch it or stay with Blue. If you go back and watch it, temporarily got downhill, had a little bit of space, realized he probably wouldn't be able to get a quick one, so he bounced out. We repinned for Smurf, and again, they switched it out. So now we're neutralized, had no advantage, and at that point, a quick 2 turned into a long 2. But obviously, yeah, all our guys knew. I think we just lost a little track of time.
End of regulation, Smurf ties it up, and we've seen him make those kind of plays throughout the
Huge
season.
plays, ultimate confidence.
What is it about him that allows him in those big moments? He's going to go get the bucket.
Swagger, toughness. He's I love him. I love coaching him. He brings it every day. He's probably our hardest worker. He's starting to lead a little bit. He's grown a lot too. He's really scored it last year, and they played a similar tempo as we're playing right now at UTSA. He's just as a junior, he's defending and competing at a higher level. Coming off the bench, doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter to him. He's got no ego. He'll be in the gym at 8 tomorrow morning, I guarantee it. He's sturdy, he's tough. And a lot of players at this level, you know, you watch games on TV and you watch these, you know, you watch us live and you say, he just didn't quite have it tonight, or he didn't look like himself, or he was out of character, and that happens. It's prevalent, especially today's day and age, in 2026, with all the stuff these guys are getting, and they're young people. Smurfs, like, Smurf will be Smurf tomorrow, and he'll be Smurf on Friday and on Saturday. Now, he might go 2 of 6 instead of 4 of 6 or what have you, but he's a stud. He'll bounce back.
When Jordan was talking about the rebounding, he was pretty blunt. He said it was a, you know, effort and
Yeah.
want to, as far as, you know,
Yeah.
kind of getting the job done there. Do you agree with that? Is it something that you would?
No, I appreciate that. You know, I'm not afraid to disagree with what these guys are saying in here. I mean, when we go back and watch it very carefully, there might be 4 or 5 times where there's a guard at the elbow and we wished he was a little bit closer to the rim, but a lot of those rebounds, we just weren't getting. We just weren't. I don't mean to, you know, to be negative about our rebounding potential. They're just an elite. They're the #1 offensive rebounding team in the country, and when they're playing Ament, Australia, and Akpara at, you know, 6'10" and long and 6'11" and 6'11", and the physicality, especially with Australia and Akpara, and we're playing 4-guard lineups. I anticipated getting out rebounded. If it was even close on the glass, we'd be sitting here smiling. But by 25, it's tough, and 26 offensive rebounds, tough. Our effort was better on the glass tonight than it's been in a handful of games this year. We played hard. We flew around. We had hands on a bunch of those rebounds that we just didn't quite get. I'll tell you, I'm always honest with you guys. Our effort defensively in the second half last week, oh my goodness, that wasn't us. That was an outlier for this team in terms of effort. Our defensive effort at home against Ole Miss, and Ole Miss was really good, and they're a tough 2-making team. But we fought tonight. Our guys played hard. It was live in there. Tennessee earned it.
The last question right here, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, I was gonna ask you about Tennessee being a bit of an outlier in terms of matchups and teams you'll play
Yeah.
down the stretch, but, you know, just seeing Kareem out there, you know, there's so much upside. I mean, how much
Yeah.
urgency for him to get where, I don't wanna say where he needs to be, but for you guys to do what you wanna do, I mean,
Yeah.
pretty pivotal player.
Yeah, you bring that up, and that's probably something we'll discuss tomorrow. Freshman, right, and he's learning, but he's very talented, and he's a prototypical SEC front court guy with vertical reach, an ability to move laterally at a high level, girth, you know, skill level. We've played him mostly at small ball 5. He needs to be a 4 in this league, of course, which could allow us to move over Cannon a little bit. But then again, we've got to make some other decisions on those other guards. Do you play quite as fast if he's playing at the 4 and Cannon's at the 3? That's been our biggest strength, and that's where these decisions are always hard. You know, it's not simple, especially when you got 11 you're playing. And a lot of it will be opponent to opponent. But Kareem, you know, the message to him is just continue to work and get better, and your time will come. Who knows when you're going to earn more opportunity? But he's a talented guy.
All right, thanks, Coach.